Money Ape wakes up and promises, "Today, I'm being responsible." 3 hours later, he buys a banana-shaped lamp he doesn't need just because it's on sale. He's not stupid. He's just trapped by his financial identity. Your brain has a hidden label that says, "I am a spender, not a saver," and it will always force you to act in alignment with that label. Today, we are breaking down how to hack your money identity so saving happens completely automatically. Here is something neuroscientists have known for decades that most of us were never taught in school. Your brain is not trying to make you happy. Your brain is not trying to make you rich. Your brain is trying to make you consistent. Consistent with the story you believe about yourself. This is called self-concept consistency, and it is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a file folder inside your head, and on that file folder it says your name. Inside that folder is every belief you have ever absorbed about who you are with money. Every time your parents argued about bills when you were 7. Every time a teacher said math was hard and you nodded along. Every time you spent your last $20 on something dumb and laughed it off and called yourself a disaster. All of that went into the folder. And now, without you even realizing it, your brain reads that folder every single time a money decision comes up. So when Money Ape walks past a shoe store and sees a sale sign, his brain does not consult a budget. It consults the folder. And the folder says, "We are the kind of ape who deserves a treat." We are not really a saving kind of ape. Saving is for serious, boring apes. We are fun. And Money Ape buys the shoes. This is not weakness. This is not lack of willpower. This is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is being consistent. The problem is it is being consistent with the wrong story. Now here is where it gets interesting and a little bit uncomfortable, but stay with me because this part is important. Most of us inherited our money identity. We did not choose it. It was handed to us like a secondhand sweater, and we just put it on without checking if it fit. Money Ape grew up watching his family stress about money. And when you grow up watching the adults around you stress about money, your brain does something very logical. It files money under danger, under scarcity, under there is never enough, and then it attaches that feeling to your identity. Money is scary. Money is hard. Money is for other people, other kinds of apes, not us. Research from the field of behavioral economics shows that our earliest money memories, usually from before age 10, have a disproportionate effect on our financial behavior as adults. One study found that children who heard their parents use phrases like, "We cannot afford that," repeatedly were significantly more likely to hold scarcity-based money beliefs decades later, regardless of their actual income. And here is the sneaky part. Even when Money Ape started making decent money, the identity did not automatically update. The folder did not magically rewrite itself. The brain kept reading the old file. We are a struggling ape. So Money Ape would get a raise, and then somehow, mysteriously, the expenses would creep up to meet it. Have you ever noticed that? You make more money and somehow you still feel just as tight at the end of the month? That is not bad luck. That is your identity maintaining its consistency. Your brain is saying, "Wait, we have too much money. That does not match who we are. Let me fix that." And then it fixes it by spending. Okay, we need to talk about dopamine, because without understanding this piece, nothing else makes sense. Dopamine is a chemical your brain releases when it anticipates a reward, not when it gets the reward, when it anticipates it. This is crucial. This is the whole game. When Money Ape opens a shopping app and sees a sale notification, dopamine floods his brain before he has even clicked on anything. Just the possibility of a good deal. Just the idea of a new shiny thing, dopamine, rush, feels amazing. And what does Money Ape's brain learn? This thing, this shopping, this buying, this gives us the good feeling. And so the brain starts pulling you back toward it, over and over, like a song stuck in your head. We call these golden bananas. The quick, sparkly, instant reward. The dopamine hit that feels so good right now. New shoes, new gadget, new banana lamp. Golden bananas are not evil. They are delicious. The problem is they are small. They fill you up for a minute, and then you are hungry again an hour later. Compare that to what we might call Redwood Bananas. The ones that take longer to grow, that do not taste as exciting right now. Investing, saving, building something. Your brain does not get a dopamine spike from watching your index fund go up by 0.3% on a Tuesday. There is no notification sound, no confetti animation, no countdown timer saying, "This opportunity expires in 12 minutes. Redwood bananas are boring. And your dopamine system hates boring. But here's what science also tells us. You can rewire which things trigger dopamine. You can teach your brain to get excited about different things. And the most powerful way to do that is through identity. This is the part Money Ape wishes someone had told him 10 years ago. There is a researcher named James Clear who wrote about how identity-based habits work, and the core idea is this. Most people try to change their behavior first, hoping their identity will follow. They say, I will start saving money, and eventually I will feel like a saver. But it almost never works that way, because the brain keeps reading the old folder. The shift that actually works goes in the opposite direction. You change the identity first, even a little, even just the story you tell yourself, and the behavior follows automatically. Here is an example. Let us say Money Ape used to say, I am terrible with money. Classic, relatable, the default setting for approximately 70% of humans. Now, instead of trying to white-knuckle his way through a budget, Money Ape starts saying something different. Not, I am a millionaire. That is too far. His brain will reject it immediately because it does not match any evidence yet. But something just a little bit further along the path. Something like, I am someone who is learning to think like a wealthy ape. Or even simpler, I am someone who thinks before I spend. That is it. That tiny shift in language. And here's why it matters neurologically. Every time you make a statement about who you are, your brain starts looking for evidence to confirm it. This is called the confirmation bias, and normally we think of it as a problem. But here you are using it as a tool. You tell your brain, I am someone who thinks before I spend. And your brain goes, oh, okay. Let me find proof of that. And then next time you are about to impulse buy something, your brain pipes up. Not because you forced it to, because it is looking for evidence that you are the person you said you are. Money. Ape started doing this in small, almost embarrassing ways. He would pick up something in a store and put it back down and say quietly to himself, that is what I do now. I am someone who thinks first. And he felt like an absolute weirdo doing it. But his brain was listening, and slowly the folder started to change. Now let us get practical. Because identity shifts do not happen from just one moment of inspiration. They happen from small, repeated actions that accumulate into a new self-concept. Here are the 3 things that actually worked for Money Ape. The first one is the pause and name practice. Every time Money Ape felt the pull toward a golden banana, before clicking, before buying, before anything, he would stop and literally name what was happening. Out loud if possible, in his head if not. I am feeling the dopamine pull right now. My brain wants a reward. I see you, brain. That is it. You are not fighting the urge. You are just naming it. And research in mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy consistently shows that the simple act of naming an emotion or impulse reduces its intensity by up to 40%. You are not white-knuckling. You are just observing. And in that tiny pause, a new identity has room to breathe. The second practice is the identity evidence journal. This sounds fancy, but it is incredibly simple. Every single day, Money Ape wrote down one thing, just one, that a financially healthy ape would do. And then he did that one thing, packed lunch instead of buying it, transferred $10 to savings, read one page of a book about investing, just one thing. And then he wrote it down as evidence. Today, I acted like someone who is building wealth. Because remember, your brain is hungry for evidence of the story you are telling. Feed it. The third practice is the wealth identity anchor. Money Ape picked one physical object, a small worn coin he found in his car, and he made it his anchor. Every time he held it or saw it, he would take one breath and repeat his identity statement. I think before I spend. I am building something real. This sounds a little woo-woo, and Money Ape absolutely felt like a self-help cliché doing it. But what he was actually doing was neurologically sound. He was creating an associative trigger. The coin activated the identity, and over time, even walking past the coin on his desk would bring up the feeling of that identity. Pavlov, but for wealth building. Here is the part nobody talks about. What does it actually feel like when your money identity starts to shift? It does not feel like a dramatic transformation. It does not feel like a movie montage where Money Ape suddenly starts wearing nice suits and confidently declining dessert. It feels quieter than that. It feels like one morning you walk past a display of things on sale and you feel nothing, no pull, no temptation, not because you are strong, but because those things just do not match who you are anymore. They belong to the old folder. The new folder has different contents. Money Ape noticed it first when he stopped feeling deprived when he chose not to buy something. Before, not buying something felt like losing, like punishment, like being the boring ape who could not have fun. After the identity shift, not buying something he did not need felt like alignment. It felt like being true to himself, and that is when he understood something deep. Willpower is exhausting. Identity is effortless. Willpower is you fighting yourself all day. Identity is you being yourself. And being yourself requires no energy at all. The science backs this up beautifully. Studies on self-regulation show that people who frame financial restraint as an expression of identity, I do not buy things impulsively because that is not who I am, show far less decision fatigue and far higher rates of long-term financial success than people who frame it as willpower or sacrifice. I cannot buy this even though I want to. Same behavior. Completely different internal experience. Completely different long-term results. Now we arrive at the most important part, and it is not a hack. It is not a trick. It is a question. Every single day, in dozens of small moments, you are voting for who you are. Not in some grand dramatic moment. Not at New Year's resolution time. In the checkout line. In the pause before clicking confirm order. In the choice between opening your banking app or your shopping app. Every one of those moments is a vote. And those votes accumulate into an identity. And that identity runs your financial life on autopilot. Money Ape used to vote over and over for the ape who needed the golden banana right now. Who deserved a treat? Who would figure it out later? And the bank account reflected those votes faithfully. And then slowly, one vote at a time, Money Ape started voting differently. Not perfectly. Money Ape still occasionally buys a ridiculous thing that brings him great joy and zero regret. Because the goal is not to become a joyless, austere, pleasure-free ape. The goal is to be conscious, to be the one making the choice. Not the dopamine, not the old folder, not the 7-year-old ape who learned that. Money is scary. You, the ape you are choosing to be. There is a philosopher named Viktor Frankl who survived one of the most brutal experiences a human being can go through. And he came out the other side saying something that has stuck with Money Ape ever since. He said between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is your power. And in that power is your growth and your freedom. The golden banana is the stimulus. The purchase is the response. And in between them, even if it is just 2 seconds wide, is a space. And in that space, you get to decide who you are. Money Ape is still learning this. Still sometimes gets seduced by a really good sale on something absolutely unnecessary. But now he knows what is happening. He can see the dopamine dance for what it is. He can feel the old folder trying to run the old program. And more he closes that folder, opens a new one, puts a new vote in. Who are you voting for? Not the ape who is always going to start next month. Not the ape who is great with money when there is enough of it, which somehow never quite happens. But the ape who decided quietly, on some ordinary Tuesday, that the story was going to change, that the Redwood Bananas were worth the wait. That building something real, something that compounds and grows and outlasts any banana lamp ever made, was worth being a slightly weirder ape for a while. That ape is already in you. The folder already exists. You just get to decide what goes in it from here. Money Ape believes in you. And slowly, one Tuesday at a time, you can start believing in yourself too.